The Astros take on the Reds, 12:35 Eastern first pitch at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. The Astros are minus 185, totals 8.5. Now, we did see a 25-cent move toward the Astros in the early going here. Once again, Houston minus 185, total 8.5. 65% of the consensus is leaning toward Houston, 77% shaded toward the over. Right now, Cincinnati's plus 165 on the money line. Houston minus $1.25 on the run line. We have Garrett Cole for the Astros, Tyler Mahle for the Reds. Mahle comes into this game with just a 2-7 record and a 4.46 ERA. Cole on the other side for the Astros, 6-5 on the year, 3.67 ERA. Houston is 22 games over 500 right now, 48-26 overall for the year. They also rank first in hits allowed on average per game. Give me the Astros minus 185 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Rays, Yankees, 105 Eastern first pitch at Yankee Stadium. The Rays are minus 125, totals at 9. Just saw a little bit of movement upward on the total. Once again, Tampa Bay minus 125, totals at 9. 51% are leaning Tampa Bay, 74% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Yankees are plus 115 on the money line. Tampa Bay plus $1.25 on the run line. We have Snell for the Rays, Sabathia for the Yankees. Now, Snell comes into this matchup with just a 4-5 record. Tampa Bay's also dropped 6 out of their last 8 ball games. One more thing to add about Tampa Bay, they rank 25th in striking out on average in Major League Baseball. Now, the Yankees on the other side, they're nearly 20 games over 500 already. They're 45-27 overall for the year. They're also 24-13 on their home field. They rank second in hits allowed at home. When it comes to the total, the Yankees are 24-13 to the under on their home field at Yankee Stadium. I'd lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me the Yankees plus 1.5 and the under 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Phillies, Nationals, 105 Eastern first pitch in Washington. No line currently posted for this game. We have Zach Eflin for the Phils, Eric Fedde for the Nationals. Now, Eflin comes into this game with a 2.81 ERA. Philadelphia is also winning 73% of their games following a day off. So although we have no line for this game, I think Philly should at least take game one. Give me Philadelphia winning this one outright for some money line cash. Next game, Baltimore taking on the Athletics, 3:37 Eastern first pitch in Oakland. The A's are minus 280, totals 9.5. We saw a 20-cent move toward Oakland in the early wagering and movement upward on the total 0.5 point. So once again, Oakland minus 280, total 9.5. 69% are leaning Oakland, 81% shaded toward the over. Right now, Baltimore is plus 240 on the money line. Oakland minus 160 on the run line. We have Bassett for the A's, Josh Rogers for the O's. Now, Oakland's 5-2 in their last 7. They're also 21-17 at home this year. They rank third in striking. They actually rank third in striking out at home, which is a good thing. They're not striking out a lot. They're making great contact. So once again, just third in striking out at home. Total-wise, Baltimore 22-14 to the under away from home, depending on where you're shopping at. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean Oakland minus 1.5. and the under 9.5 in that game. Next matchup, Brewers, Padres, 3:40 San Diego. Pretty much a coin flip contest here, pretty much a pick 'em. Both teams are minus 105, total 8.5. Now, we did see a 10-cent fade of Milwaukee in the early wagering. We also saw movement upward on the total, 0.5 run. So once again, Milwaukee minus 105, totals 8.5. 61% are leaning toward Milwaukee, 80% shaded toward the under. Like I said, San Diego's minus 105 on the money line as well. Meanwhile, Milwaukee plus $1.55 on the run line. Now we have Zach Davies for the Brewers, Cal Quantrill for the Padres. Quantrill's just 1-2 with a 4.85 ERA. Davies on the other side, 7-0 with a 2.41 ERA. Milwaukee's also 5th in walks, 7th in striking batters out. San Diego on the other side, 2nd to last in home hits. They've also covered just 16 out of 40 games at home. And of course, I say it every episode. I know somebody out there had said, dude, you don't have to explain every episode. But yes, I do. When I refer to covering or the spread or the number or ATS, I'm referring to the run line. So once again, San Diego covered just 16 out of 40 games at home this year. And when it comes to the total, Milwaukee's 24-14 to the under away from home, depending on where you're shopping at. So I normally don't do this. I normally take a side, but in this case, I'm taking a pitcher. I'm going to lean Zach Davies minus 105 in the under 8.5 in that matchup there. Next matchup, Kansas City taking on Seattle, 640 Seattle. Seattle's minus 125, totals at 9. We saw a nickel move towards Seattle and movement downward on the total half a run. Once again, Seattle minus 125, total at 9. 56% are leaning Seattle, 75% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Royals are plus 115 on the money line. Seattle plus 150 on the run line. We have Keller for the Royals, Gonzalez for Seattle. Gonzalez is 7-6 on the year for Seattle. Keller on the other side for Kansas City, just 3-8 on the year. Kansas City, 23 games under 500 right now. They've also won just 11 out of 36 games away from home. They rank 27th in walked batters. And when it comes to the total, Seattle is 80% to the over in their last 10. All that in mind, give me Seattle minus 125 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Tigers taking on the Pirates. That's going to be a 7:05 Eastern first pitch in the Steel City. Pittsburgh's minus 115, totals at 8. We did see a nickel fade of Pittsburgh and movement downward on the total, a half a run. Once again, Pittsburgh minus 115, totals at 8. 61% are leaning Pittsburgh. And at the moment, Detroit is plus 105 on the money line. Pittsburgh plus 170 on the run line. We have Joe Musgrove for the Pirates, Matthew Boyd for the Tigers. Now, Matthew Boyd, he's just 5-5 on the year, but he is coming into this game with a 3.35 ERA, which isn't too bad. Meanwhile, Joe Musgrove on the other side, he's just 4-7 on the year with a 5.10 ERA for Pittsburgh. Now, the Pirates, they've won just 13 out of 32 at home this year. They're also second to last in walking batters. When it comes to the total, Pittsburgh is 6-2 to the over in their last 8. 22-10 to the over at home, depending on where you're shopping at. Give me the Detroit Tigers, plus 105. And the over 8 runs in that game. Next matchup, game 2 of a doubleheader. Philadelphia taking on the Nats, 7:05 Nation's capital. Once again, no line posted for this game. We do have Pivetta for the Phillies, Scherzer for the Nats, although Scherzer is, I guess, questionable right now. Very bizarre injury yesterday. He was doing a bunting drill in BP and bunted one off his face, off his nose, broke his nose. So we'll see if he's pitching tonight. If I know Mad Max, probably will. He won't let a broken nose stop him. Might have to put those tampons up his nose. I know people think that's crazy, but they do. They put like tampons up athletes' noses when they break them. So anyway, Pivetta for the Phils, Scherzer for the Nats. I'll tell you what, Scherzer thrives under adversity. Of course, this one is self-inflicted, but I cannot fade Max Scherzer in this spot here. Once again, Scherzer coming into this matchup with a 2.83 ERA, which is outstanding considering the Nationals are quite lackluster this year. So give me Washington winning this one outright in game 2 of the doubleheader for some money line cash. All right, next game. Angels taking on the Blue Jays, 7:07 Toronto. The Angels are minus 160, totals at 10. We saw a huge 40-cent move toward the Angels and movement upward on the total, a half a run. So once again, the Angels are minus 160, totals at 10. 59% are leaning Angels, 63% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Blue Jays are plus 150 on the money line. Angels plus 105 on the run line. We have Heaney for the Angels, Sanchez for the Blue Jays. Sanchez is just 3-8 with a 5.04 ERA for Toronto. And speaking of the Jays, well, they are 21 games under 500. They're just 26-47 overall for the year. They've also won just 12 out of 36 at home. They've also won just 17 out of 53 as the official Vegas underdog, which is really shocking that they were the underdog for 53 games this year already. But once again, Toronto winners in just 17 out of 53 games as the official Vegas underdog. Now, the Blue Jays rank dead last in hits, dead last in walks allowed. And when it comes to the total, the Angels on the other side are 22-15 to the under when traveling, depending on where you're shopping at, of course. Give me the Angels minus 160 and the under 10 runs in